Not everybody knows who Mark Dantonio is, but he became one of my favorite people in the world the football season of 2014. I love his story. He was at a coaches convention the summer before football season started, and it was held out at the Rose Bowl. And so he took his daughter out on the field, he stood there in the end zone, and he had his daughter videotape him talking to his football team, saying, imagine being here, being at the Rose Bowl. Imagine the crowd is cheering because you just won the Rose Bowl. I don't know exactly what the video was, but it was something like that, because he was the head football coach of Michigan State. Now, Michigan State that year was not necessarily a favored team in the nation, but do you know, by keeping that vision in front of his team, they went on to play in the playoffs. And in the playoffs, they beat Ohio State, which is how he became one of my favorite coaches, because by them beating Ohio State, Auburn University got to go to the national championship. But even better, they beat them when they were not ranked to beat Ohio State. And guess what happened? By beating them, they got to go to the Rose Bowl. And now they're going into the Rose Bowl, and again, they're not only not expected to win, they're not expected to win by a lot. But guess who won the Rose Bowl? Yeah, Mark and his team. And so that's the power of vision. That's the power of putting BHAG goals, big, hairy, audacious goals out there and aiming for them. The archer has their target. What is yours? Have you ever pictured something and then it became true? Maybe you pictured yourself graduating from college, and you did. Maybe you pictured yourself growing up, getting married, having kids, and it happened. It happened because that is what you pictured that you wanted to have in your life. It doesn't happen for everybody. It happens for the ones who picture that. So we can set goals that we know we're going to achieve, but how about setting goals that really scare us? One of the things that I learned from Dr. Tim Jennings, he has this great book called Could It Be That Simple? But he said that our brain's job is to prove us right. Our brain's job is to prove us right. And one of the examples he gives is this study that they did with, they took like 100 people, and about half of them considered themselves to be lucky, and the other half didn't consider themselves to be lucky. And the study had them be dropped off at a bus stop. Right, so the study had them being dropped off at a bus stop, and they were to walk the city block to the door where the study was being held. What they didn't know is there was a $100 bill taped to the ground. It was shocking that the people who considered themselves lucky, almost all of them found the $100 bill. But the people who didn't consider themselves lucky, very few of them found that $100 bill. So really it's all about mindset. So one of the things that we teach in our coaching program is to have a vision board. But before you do a vision board, don't just go shopping. I want this, I want this, I want this. Take the time to think about everything that's important. Who do I want to be? What do I want to do? Do I want to travel the world? Do I want to have world peace? Do I want to, do great at my job? What do you really want to do? And then what do you want to have? Do you want to have great employees? Do you want to have lots of money? Do you want to have a Tesla? Do you want to have a great marriage? Think about, write out those things. What do you really want? Be, do, and have. And then use magazines or Google Images and find pictures that represent that. Put that on a vision board and look at it every day. And I'll tell you the power of this. At my previous company, we won 3 trips a year. It was a pretty cool company. 3 trips. And in 7 years, there was only 1 trip that I missed. You know why? When I looked back, that was the only trip that I didn't put pictures of that trip all over. I didn't have them in my office. I didn't have them in my bathroom where I could see them on the mirror every day. was the only trip that I didn't keep in front of me. So when I ask you, what is it that you really, really want? Don't be afraid to find a picture of that, put it on that vision board, keep it in front of you, and it might take 6 months, it might take a year, but just as Dr. Tim Jennings said, our brains will always be working to prove us right. And hey, if we can have some say in what our brain's trying to prove right, I think that's a pretty good deal. Go out and try it.